So, what is that garbled up looking mess? We've been printing for almost 4 hours. I'll take a look at the back side here. You can see it's very, very thin. Stay tuned and I'll show you. So we're taking that one and drop down in zero. For several years now, I've wanted a 3D printer, and after doing some research, I decided that the original Ender 3 had the most amount of features for your dollar. So I picked one up, and 10 days into owning it, I've already broken it. You can see I've got the wire covering pulled back here with a clothespin holding it up, and some exposed wires. So what happened was, this is a little cooling fan. It's a 24 volt cooling fan that blows air onto the hot end to keep it from overheating. Well, I had one of the supplied Allen wrenches in my hand, and I accidentally got it through that guard somehow and into the fan blade and broke a blade. The printer was still printing, but it had a bunch of vibration. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to shut it down. I'm going to order a replacement fan. So that's where we are at the moment. I pulled the fan out. These are the wires up here. I've actually cut them back, and I put in a JST plug. This is, as you know, as always, everything I do is done right. I try to anyhow. It is soldered and heat shrunk in there, and I'll do the same on this end. So when the new fan comes in, I'll install it, clip the wires to the correct length, solder and heat shrink them on here, pull this covering back down over it, and fixed. But in the event that I break it again, it'll be a quick disconnect. You know, just unplug it. I'll pre-solder on. I ordered some extras on top of the replacement for this. So I'll pre-solder some connectors onto the couple of extra fans. So if I do wreck it again, and these little fans are kind of known for dying, I can just quickly, 5-minute plug and play, and we're up and running again. So that's what I'm waiting on. Printed all sorts of stuff. Stuff for the Ender, which still, I've said this before, probably not on video. It just blows me away that this is a machine capable of producing parts for itself. But I've done that quite a bit, actually. Over here, we've got a filament guide. That just guides the filament down into the extruder. Speaking of the extruder, there's a ship's wheel extruder knob so I can manually advance the filament. Up top, this is another filament guide. This is a knob that I printed for the Z-axis to raise and lower the carriage on the Z-axis. What else? Up here at the spool, I printed these little adapters to get the spool closer to center, and that actually resulted in a huge reduction in friction. So this spool spins super easy now, almost like it's bearinged. I printed a tool holder, so all the factory tools that come with it now have a home. Down here, I printed this little fan cover on the Ender 3s, the cooling fan for the circuit board. It faces straight up. And one of the arguments or complaints that people had was, bits of filament would fall in that fan and block it and ruin the fan, overheat the board. So that was one of the first things I printed, was this little cover, so it just breathes out the front. Doesn't restrict airflow at all. Just keeps stuff from falling into it. I printed a cover for the back side of the little LCD screen from the factory. I'll push this back a little bit. From the factory, that's a bare circuit board back there. So if you reach behind it with your fingers, you're going to touch bare circuit board. And then I would say the one and only thing that I've printed for the printer that's purely aesthetic is this little knob, this little faucet handle knob. I love the look of it, so I printed that. Everything else has been functional. At least I'd like to think so. So, my fan's due to show up tomorrow. We'll get that soldered in, and then we'll do a follow-up little pickup video, but it is so much fun. It's a kind of a steep learning curve, but it's fairly intuitive. You pick it up pretty quick. That's where we are, waiting on parts. I also picked up this cute little stand for it. So this is Big Kitty. And he is obviously having a pretty rough life. He's a stray who just showed up one day. And because we have another cat, we have food. So we started leaving food out for him. And before you know it, he started coming around regularly. And now he pretty much just owns the place. He is a sweetheart. But he is giant. He's a big cat. It's about 3 of our other cat. What a good guy. Loves the chin rubs. Little cutie. Well, after being down for 7 days, my hot end fan finally showed up, and I got that installed. And what's the very first thing I print? A guard, so I don't stick another damn end wrench in there. But we're running. Sweet. Well, we just finished the longest print I've ever done at 10 hours and 38 minutes. It is about 3:55 a.m. I'm getting ready to go to work. And it turned out beautifully. It is a skeletonized AR grip. Very nice. Sorry about the poor lighting, but you get the idea. Well, I just pulled up into my driveway here, and there's a deer sleeping in my backyard. See him standing up? That's a pretty common occurrence in my area. Oh, there's 2 of them. The other one is a nice forked horn. So yesterday I printed out this angled forward hand grip and went down and picked up some M5 hardware for it today at the hardware store, and in order to mount it needed some Picatinny rails, so I printed some Picatinny rails. Those just finished, and it took 3 hours and 11 minutes to print those 2. I'm having all kinds of fun with this thing. Turned out very, very nice. Very happy with the quality. Anyhow, yeah, too much fun. You can probably read the writing at the top of it, but the picture looks a little bit garbled. What this is a lithophane. And a lithophane is a picture that lets varying amounts of light through it based on the thickness of material. You know, it's like a grayscale, basically. So it's hard to see what's going on here, but if I give it a little flashlight action, there's our picture. It's just plain as day. My 2 boys in front, me wearing the glasses, my mom behind it, Jennifer behind her, and my daughter Hannah at the very back, and that's riding Splash Mountain. That was about this time last year. But yeah, lithophane's pretty darn cool. Yeah, the cat is definitely having a pretty rough life. Oh yeah, big yawn. Pretty tough day. Hey, remember those cute deer? Well, they pretty much decimated my tomatoes and my pepper plants. That habanero's chewed clear to the dirt. This one's close. That one's close. All the leaves are missing off that one. They ate the top out of this serrano. They ate the top out of that cayenne. The top out of that serrano. The top out of that serrano. Most of the tomatoes, the bigger tomatoes, are all gone. So Yeah, they're cute till they eat your shit. So, sorry about the random videos here, but thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, rate, and comment. And we'll see you guys sometime on some video. There's some cayenne peppers. And that right there is a tiny little bell pepper. There's a bigger one hiding out down there. Serrano peppers. These are serrano peppers.